today I'm walking around an office park and looking for a little office space today. So as I walk back to the car, I was thinking, let's do the first mobile episode of Ask Snef. Let's go. Okay, so to set things up a little bit here, all of the questions from today are from my video that's titled Reality Just an Illusion / Social Construct. I'm going to put a link in it in the description down below. Now, just for a quick recap of that episode, the bulk of that episode was talking about how things in this world are either real or they're not real. By real, I mean that they exist in the physical world. They're things that you can touch, you can make contact with, you can experience them with the senses. There's also things in this world that we interact with on a daily basis that are not actually real. They're things that only exist because we collectively agree as a society that they exist. Low bridge. Things that we interact with that only exist because of mutual social agreement are what are called social constructs. That was the focus of the last video. With that, let's begin. Martin asks, hi Martin, if only things in the physical world are real, are YouTube videos real? And why does any of this matter? Okay, Martin, great question. So YouTube videos are not real. Nothing about them is real. Now that sounds really kind of weird to say because you're watching one right now. But I can assure you nothing about this video is real. Now, I'm real. The phone that I'm filming on right now is real. That building back there is real. So while YouTube videos themselves are not real, there's a lot of things surrounding YouTube videos that are real. So for example, if you're watching this video on a phone right now, the phone that you're holding is real. The sound waves that are going from the speakers to your ears are real. The light that's going from the screen to your eyes is real. The video itself, however, is not. At no point is anything about the actual video real. I'm filming this video on a phone. It's digital. The video is being recorded on a hard drive in the phone. So really the hard drive itself is being configured. There's nothing actually on the hard drive per se. Once I have all of the footage on the phone, I then edit the video files with the program on the phone. From there, I upload the video to YouTube, where real electric signals travel across wires, make their way to YouTube servers, and then the video becomes available for download by you. So at no point is there ever a physical copy of this YouTube video. So the next question is, why does any of this matter? And it actually matters for several reasons. I'm going to get into a couple right now. All right, first of all, let's look specifically at how this applies to YouTube videos and actually other forms of digital content. So when you publish something, it automatically, at least in the United States, it's automatically considered to be copyrighted by copyright law. Now, for extra levels of copyright protection, you can file to have something copyrighted with the Copyright Office. By filing content with the Copyright Office, you get additional protections. So for example, if I publish a book on Amazon, which I've done, it's automatically given copyright protection. However, it's given a totally different set of protections if I file that book with the Copyright Office. Now, in order to file with the Copyright Office, you actually have to send a physical copy of whatever it is you're copywriting into the office. Now, if I don't file anything with the Copyright Office, it's protected. So let's say somebody comes along and steals my book. In that circumstance, I'm entitled to what's known as actual damages, which typically means if they take the book more or less word for word, and suppose they sell 10,000 copies of that book. Well, that's 10,000 copies of that book times whatever I would sell that book at that I lost. In that circumstance, that's what's called actual damages. Now, if I file for copyright by creating a printed form of that book and then sending that book into the US Copyright Office, I can be entitled to statutory damages. Now that gets a little bit bigger because in that circumstance, I can be awarded $100,000 per infraction. So content that is not real versus content that is can have different legal ramifications if you don't take additional steps to protect yourself. Crossing the road here. Boy, this office park is gorgeous. So another interesting way that this stuff can apply is in the world of digital security. I was in a conversation the other day with a friend who was telling me that she does not keep a password on her phone. This led us into a conversation about the San Bernardino bomber that the FBI was trying to get inside the guy's phone. And the statement that my friend made to me was, I don't really care if the FBI is in my phone because I have nothing to hide. Now here's a very scary but true fact. In a digital world, it's not so much that you have nothing to hide as it is that you have absolutely everything to hide. Things you can't even fathom. Now here's what I mean. Keep in mind, your cell phone has nothing actually on it, though this is language that we pretty regularly use. And that might sound a little weird. You think, oh no, Ryan, I've downloaded all kinds of apps onto my phone. No, there's nothing on your phone. If you have an iPhone, for example, and you weigh that iPhone the very first day and there's nothing on the phone, it's gonna have a certain weight. You could download until your heart's content onto that phone, and the phone still weighs the exact same amount. There is nothing on your phone. Now, when you download something onto your phone, I'm gonna stop using air quotes, I think we all get the point by now. When you download something onto your phone, what you're actually doing is taking electrical signals from a server at Apple that are going through a real line that are making their way eventually to your phone, and those electrical signals are simply configuring your hard drive. The interesting thing here is a hard drive can be configured an infinite amount of ways. So think about this. Your iPhone can show the very best, most amazing movie that has not yet been created, but it can show it. And all that has to happen is your hard drive has to be configured a certain way. In a world where content, be it files, be it pictures or videos, where nothing is actually real, that also means that absolutely anything can be put onto your phone. And it doesn't necessarily take your doing to make it happen. Now let's look at a case in point. There's certain types of content that nobody should have. Examples would be child pornography, plans to blow up a building. But if you're a hacker and you're any good, you could have plans to blow up a building. You could take pictures of those plans, and if you're any good, you could put those plans on someone else's phone. And that might sound like a far-fetched type of scenario, but there's actually several circumstances as to why something like that can occur. Now, in the recent past, there's already been quite a few circumstances where hackers have used what they call ransomware to lock up your computer or your phone. This is essentially where they put a lock on your data and they don't unlock your phone or your computer until you pay them a certain ransom, typically in Bitcoins. This is real world stuff. So even though it might seem a little far-fetched, your security matters, and you have to pay attention to your digital security in a world where content is not actually real. It's not like planting physical evidence on somebody where you could take plans to blow up a building, but you have to break into someone's house and plant them there for you to actually have possession of them. A hacker doesn't even need to see you. They could be on the total opposite side of the world while putting whatever or accessing whatever from your phone or your computer. In a nutshell, this stuff really matters. All right, the next question is from Alex. Alex asks, is the reason it's so hard to find good opportunities because opportunity itself isn't real? Alex, this is a great question. So opportunity is definitely not real. You can't just grab and pick up opportunity. That's not a thing. Now, to really answer this question, you have to kind of define what opportunity really is. So one way to think of it that certainly comes to mind for me is that it has to involve a thing or a person or a place where other people are not seeing opportunity existing, right? So if opportunity is not real, it's actually a social construct. And because of that, we have to have agreement that opportunity in fact exists. Now, Alex, to your point in question with opportunities being hard to find, I think that's actually a matter of opinion. I don't even think that's actually true. I think opportunity is absolutely everywhere. You know, let's use an example right here. You could have been driving back on that highway years ago and around here would be nothing but empty woods. Now, look, you got this gorgeous waterfall back here. You can kind of see it. Right behind me is a gorgeous country club, right? There's all sorts of things that were made here out of someone who saw opportunity. So it's not so much whether or not opportunity exists or not. It's a matter of whether you see something that can be done in a circumstance where other people don't. Now, technically, it doesn't require that other people don't see opportunity, but it tends to be a better opportunity if you are the only one or one of a select few that sees opportunity around a given thing. Now, the beauty of opportunity is because opportunity is not real, meaning that it's a social construct, which is something that only exists upon social agreement. The interesting thing about opportunity is that the only person that really needs to agree that opportunity exists at all is you. So it's not so much about a circumstance being hard to find opportunity as it is your ability to find opportunity anywhere. If you want opportunity to become easier to find, what I suggest is get in the habit of being opportunity oriented. So look for opportunity absolutely everywhere. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a client in a circumstance where I missed a flight. And so I had to set up maybe at an airport bar for a little bit and just meet people. And I ended up meeting people, having long-lasting business relationships to this day. Now, for a lot of people, missing a flight might be something that a lot of people would consider kind of a bummer. But opportunity-oriented people think opportunity everywhere all the time. Opportunity is really easy to find, Alex. It's everywhere, all around you, all the time. Okay, next question. Enoch asks, Enoch, that's a pretty cool name. Enoch asks, you mentioned that money isn't real. Does that mean that anything that is substantially dependent on money, such as stocks and bonds, is also not real? Great question. Okay, first of all, stocks and bonds are not real. That is correct. They are in fact social constructs. Now, they're not really money dependent per se. They involve money. They involve ownership interests, which are not real, in businesses, which are not real. And those businesses make money by selling goods or providing services. Now, in that video, which again, there's a link in the description, I drew out an example of why laws are in fact not real. Now, anything that is created from laws, correct, is not real. So in law, you have corporate law, which establishes the existence and the creation of stock certificates. Laws are social constructs, and therefore, by their very nature, anything that a law creates is also a social construct. So stocks and bonds are dependent on laws, specifically corporate law and contract law, but are not dependent on money directly. A circumstance that could be dependent on another one would be the fact that stocks are not real, they are a social construct, and mutual funds are an investment product that is made up of stocks. So therefore, that's a hierarchy where mutual funds are not real because stocks are not real. Great question, Enoch, and this has a lot of applicability down the road. Wow, that's a beautiful sunset back there. Okay, the last question comes in from Steve. Steve asks, if jobs aren't real, why do I really fucking hate my job? And how can I use the fact that jobs aren't real to help me find another one when no employers around me are hiring? Really great, somewhat funny question, Steve. So the fact that jobs aren't actually something real is actually your biggest benefit in being able to get one. Now, not necessarily at a large company, but definitely at smaller companies. Think about this statement. People might say, there's no jobs in my area, no jobs exist. Well, jobs don't exist, period. Jobs aren't actually a thing, they're a social construct, which of course just means that a job only exists to the extent that the appropriate people collectively agree that a job exists. Because a job is not actually something real, all that means is that you have to essentially create agreement between some people that a job in fact does exist. Let's get in the car here. So Steve, if I were in your position, what I would do is I would go around to any and all local employers that you believe have a need for whatever skill it is that you can provide. And I wouldn't approach it from a perspective of going around and saying, hey, are you hiring? Because the answer is no. But I'd approach it in a way where I'd go around saying, hey, I believe I can have a real impact in your business in this way. And this is why. You might even create an opportunity for them where you say, hey, I can work for you for a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever you can do for free to show them that you in fact are the right man for a job that doesn't yet exist. Trust me, if you add value, a job will be created for you. Business owners love making money. So if you can get them to agree that you can make them a lot of money, you will have a job. All right, that's it for the first episode of Ask Snef. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to continue to send me your questions anywhere. They can be on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I don't care where they come from. Just put in the hashtag Ask Snef, and I'll make sure to get your questions answered. Thanks so much.